The studio lights hummed too harsh, too perfect. Laughter echoed through the set, practiced and hollow, like a chorus on cue. Jimmy Kimmel reclined, eyes sparkling with smugness, the audience hooked on every glance. Across from him, Keanu Reeves sat still, face unreadable. The talk had drifted no longer about movies or action scenes. Kimmel leaned in, grinning. "Come on, Keanu. Since when are you an activist? Isn't this a bit serious for your usual image?" The crowd chuckled. Keanu did not. He looked at Kimmel slowly, purposefully, then glanced at the mic on his collar. His voice, quiet. It stopped being about image. The moment someone I cared about was buried without justice. The air shifted. No cue cards, no chuckles. Just silence, so thick it hung between them. Kimmel blinked. Keanu unclipped the mic carefully, placed it on the desk, and stood. No storming off. No statement. Just an exit. The raw clip spread, not through headlines, but through shares, reposts, and slowed-down videos of a man laying down a mic. No rant, no speech, just truth and stillness. But behind that moment lived years of doors closed, calls ignored, justice left undone. Keanu had not planned to leave him till he heard that laugh. The same one Isaiah's mother heard when her case was thrown out. The same grin she saw when the officer walked free. In the days after, fragments began to surface. A voice memo, secret interviews, suppressed footage. Keanu had gathered it for years, not for spotlight or scripts, but for clarity. A janitor from the courtroom, long dismissed, now spoke softly to reporters. He didn't film pain, he carried it. One story stood out. A black teacher dismissed after speaking up about her students' unjust arrests. She almost lost everything. Then, without noise or publicity, a grant arrived to cover her legal fight. She never knew where it came from, till she saw Keanu place the mic on that desk, in Atlanta. A father of 3 watched the footage, his lips shaking. "Isaiah," he whispered, "even when they told us to move on." Then came the comment from Keanu, but from the assistant who'd handed him the mic that night. "He told me not to fix the levels. Said the silence would say more." The assistant was fired 2 days later. Her NDA leaked weeks later. In one part, a reporter asked, "Why did you stay quiet?" A former producer responded, "Because we thought he would leave." But he stayed. Longer than all of them. That silence shook something loose, not only in viewers, but in those who had ignored it before. People asked about Isaiah, about the footage that vanished, about the dropped documentary. Journalists reopened files. Law students quoted the moment in essays on ethics. Executives scrambled. Narration, justice did not shout. It seeped in slow and steady through the polished cracks of denial. The moment was not a climax. It was a beginning. And as Keanu stepped away from the spotlight, the truth he had carried stepped into it. The room felt colder than it looked on screen. Keanu sat at the witness table. No team, no intro, just a folder with frayed edges. Behind him, the room filled with aides, reporters, and survivors. Some wept quietly. Some stared, fists tight. Senators asked questions, some careful, some pressing. He answered plainly, no performance. One cleared his throat. "Mr. Reeves, are you suggesting there is systemic racial bias in law enforcement?" Keanu did not move. "I'm not suggesting anything. I'm repeating what the dead no longer can." There was no gasp, but something shifted. Screens lit up with quotes. Hashtags were born mid-session. A week earlier, he was just another actor pushing boundaries. Now, he spoke for those without voices. The story flipped. Then came a second blow. An uncut clip, leaked, posted by a former intern. It showed more than Kimmel. Network execs laughed during rehearsals. "Let's see if the sad Keanu angle hits tonight," one said. Another added, "Let him drone on about race, it boosts views." Kimmel mimicked a slow mic drop, mocking the exact moment that stunned a nation. Keanu never made a public reply. He did not need to. The footage silenced every doubt. Brands released statements not in support, but to step away. Talk shows scrambled to recover. Apologies flooded timelines, all except Kimmel. He stayed silent. arms folded behind his grin until ratings dropped, seats emptied, giveaways could not fill rows. For the first time in years, Jimmy Kimmel Live was put on creative break. No tribute, no send, dash off dot. Then came the live-streamed panel, advertised as a conversation on media and responsibility. It was not mutual. Kimmel was trying to regain ground. Keanu had already left it. They faced each other, no desk, no cards, just chairs. A nation watched. Kimmel's voice cracked first. "I didn't mean to offend you." Keanu met his eyes, calm. "That's the issue. You didn't mean to. But you still did." No one clapped. Just silence, heavier than any joke could land. Narration. This was not revenge, not a take. It was truth, clear and firm, finally heard where distractions had long ruled. And truth does not beg. It waits for the world to finally listen. The studio lights never turned back on. Jimmy Kimmel Live was never officially canceled. It just faded, like applause that never returned. Rumors floated, maybe a podcast, maybe an online revival. But every pitch ended the same. A silent advertiser, a quiet decline. His name still had weights, just not the kind anyone wanted to lift. One night, Kimmel sat alone on his couch. Only the laptop's glow lit the room. He played the clip against Keanu, taking off the mic, the silence that swallowed the stage. He replayed it, paused, rewound. The old laugh track, once a boost, now echoed like a mistake. On the shelf sat a dusty Emmy. On his phone, a message from his daughter remained unread. Beneath the viral video, one comment held his gaze. "We saw you. We won't forget." Keanu, meanwhile, vanished from news cycles. No big statements, no appearances. Months later, someone spotted him at a quiet event outside a restored building in Baton Rouge. A mural of Isaiah Washington looked out over the street. The Arts Center now bore his name. No press, just families, kids splattered in paint, folding chairs arranged on cracked concrete. A boy stood by Keanu, reading the plaque. "Did he have to die for this to happen?" he asked. Keanu crouched to meet his eyes. "He lived for this to happen," he said. "Others just did not stop it." The words settled, not loud, not dramatic, just honest. In overlooked corners of the internet, that moment the mic placed down became something else. Not rebellion, not fame, but quiet refusal. It was shared in college groups, dissected in lectures. In a city miles away, a councilwoman played it during a vote on police hires. Her voice barely rose, but it hit like thunder. There was no revolution, no law named after him. Just shifts. Steady, human, real. In Keanu's home office sat one photo, Isaiah smiling. Beneath it, a plaque red in silver. "Truth does not need applause." Keanu once said nothing, and still, the world listened. His last thought, barely a whisper. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes, it is all we have to shout with. Outside, the wind passed through the trees. No cameras, no headlines. Just the echo that stayed.